Gold and silver will continue moving east for economic reasons. Gold is moving east because it's a manifestation of wealth. It's the result of accumulated wealth. Silver will move east because it is a manifestation of added value in industry and wealth. What does that mean? That means silver, aside from being a store of wealth, the second most important store of wealth after gold, is also industrially used. So the price of silver being cheap in the West has been a bonus for people that use silver, businesses that use silver to make finished goods.
In a recent analysis by the Kobeissi Letter, global central banks have intensified their focus on accumulating gold, significantly impacting its price and valuation. Gold now constitutes 17.6% of international reserves, a substantial surge over the past 27 years. This precious metal has surpassed euro reserves on an international scale, becoming the most hoarded metal today. Global central banks purchased nearly 290 metric tons of gold in Q1 2024 alone, setting a new record for net gold purchases in a quarter. Market trader Vince Lanci attributes the rising demand for gold in Asia to economic prosperity and cultural factors. As Eastern buyers acquire gold, they often remelt and refine it to meet local specifications, seamlessly integrating it into their economies. This trend underscores gold's enduring role as a store of accumulated wealth, particularly in regions experiencing robust economic growth. Silver is gaining prominence in parallel due to its dual role as both a store of wealth and a critical component in industrial applications. Approximately 50 to 60% of annual silver demand stems from its industrial use, which is poised to increase with the growing adoption of green energy technologies. By 2027, solar manufacturers are projected to require over 20% of the current annual silver supply. This demand could escalate dramatically, with estimates suggesting that by 2050, solar manufacturers could consume 85 to 98% of global silver reserves. Lanci emphasizes that the industrial demand for silver, particularly in producing solar panels, is surging in the East. The historical undervaluation of silver in Western markets has provided a boon for industries dependent on this versatile metal. As silver becomes increasingly integral to the green energy sector, its valuation is expected to rise with its industrial applications. Join us as we delve into Vince Lanci's insights. To stay updated with our latest uploads, subscribe to our channel and activate notifications. Thank you.
How will the next 10 years play out? Well, if you're in Europe and your standard of living is dropping and you're forced to liquidate some of your wealth, like any declining power needs to, you will sell your gold, and you will sell your gold to an Easterner, and it'll be bought by an Easterner, and that gold gets shipped to the East. It may or may not get resmelted, depending on who bought it, into local specs, and then it's owned by someone else. It's over, right? It's no different than when Argentina's economy collapsed, and people from the US would go down there to buy watches, which is something I did, and guitars. So if you happen to be a wealthy Westerner with your gold, let's say in Switzerland, who doesn't have to sell, and you get a return on it by leasing it out through your UBS banker in Switzerland, and you find that you can no longer do that because all the demand for gold is in Asia and only the locally held gold gets leased out quickly, it's kind of like it's closest to the demand, you will move your gold to Singapore so that you can lease it out to the Eastern demand and continue getting a return on it. Geographic demand determines business and pricing power in all raw materials and commodity trade, okay? In English, the customer's always right. That's what's going on. Gold and silver will continue moving east for economic reasons. Gold is moving east because it's a manifestation of wealth. It's the result of accumulated wealth. Silver will move east because it is a manifestation of added value in industry and wealth. What does that mean? That means silver, aside from being a store of wealth, the second most important store of wealth after gold, is also industrially used. So the price of silver being cheap in the West has been a bonus for people that use silver, businesses that use silver to make finished goods, like the military. See how that works? Now, silver's being bought in the East to make solar panels. So the demand is no longer being tamped down by Western behavior. Now, I'm not so sure that they're using it for solar panels, given that its military applications are broad and deep, actually, I think. I also think that the Chinese companies that are buying silver, the Chinese company that is buying silver, because it's for solar panels, they also have a very big asset class investment division. So they're accumulating silver. China's just not done with their silver history. So think about how you can make money knowing what I just said to you. Ideology. I'm woke, I'm Confucian, I'm Asian, I'm Western, I'm Protestant, will make way for economic prosperity. Those who cling to their beliefs, do not adapt to the changing world economically, will be left behind. Okay. Think about how you can make money knowing that. You might be a trader. You might be a businessman. Hey, I'm going to open up a shop in Singapore, a jewelry shop. Think about how you can protect your family and wealth knowing that. That's by buying physical precious metals. You may not be buying today. You may not be buying tomorrow, but you should be buying. You should be buying with money that you don't need to sell. See, the reason the banks make money doing this is because they don't use leveraged money, and you need to act on it. I'm not recommending that you go to your local coin dealer. I'm not, I don't do that. I'm not paid for that. That's your personal business. But you've got to be out of your fucking mind. Knowing if you believe what I just said to you to be true, you've got to be out of your mind to not see what's going on in the world.
The eastward movement of gold has been an ongoing trend, not a sudden development, as recent media coverage might suggest. Market trader Vince Lanci points out that this shift began around 2014, when China significantly increased its involvement in gold and oil exchanges, prompting Western banks to establish vaults in Singapore. This long-term trend underscores a strategic realignment in global gold reserves. China, the most prominent official gold sector buyer, is poised to resume its bullion acquisition once prices stabilize from the record highs reached in May. Industry experts at a recent conference highlighted that the fundamental case for gold remains strong despite current price fluctuations. The People's Bank of China, PBOC, which had been adding to its gold reserves for 18 consecutive months, reported no additions in May. This pause contributed to a sharp drop in global spot prices, which had hit a record $2,449.89 per ounce on May 20th, driven by expectations of interest rate cuts and robust central bank buying amid geopolitical tensions. The PBOC regulates the flow of gold into China through quotas allocated to commercial banks, maintaining tight control over its reserves. In 2023, the PBOC was the most significant official sector buyer of gold, with net purchases totaling 7.23 million ounces, or 224.9 metric tons, according to the World Gold Council. This marked the highest annual acquisition since at least 1977. China's central bank added 60,000 troy ounces to its reserves in April alone, demonstrating its continued commitment to bolstering its gold holdings. Let's get back to the interview.
About the epicenter of gold in the Far East now. This is being brought up by the mainstream media. They're about 10 years late on this statement. This process has been going on since 2014, when China stepped up on its gold and oil exchanges, when Western banks started building vaults in Singapore, when demand started increasing post-2008, the great financial crisis. That's when it started. Now, I'm going to show you some pictures. Here we go. In 2010, JP Morgan built a vault in Singapore. Okay, they were first. Deutsche Bank opened a Singapore gold vault, 2013. ANZ opens a gold vault in Singapore as demand expands, 2013. UBS is key, 2013. Okay, this has been going on for years. Now, if you feel bummed about this, please don't. You are the first to know. And now you know they knew. And the best part, the whole world has no clue what you know. It's like the light bulb being invented in your backyard, and the rest of the world is using gas lights and being gaslit. You are ahead of 99.9% of the world in knowledge on this topic. So let's look ahead, knowing what we know and how to prepare better for this. Unless demand subsides in the East, be a genuine deflationary economic crisis or some overnight tier one asset substitute for gold, all privately held gold will move to the East from London and Switzerland, prorated based on global economic power and wealth moving from Europe to Asia. That's why I said UBS was key. There's gold right above that area. This looks like a bear flag to me, boys, but this is a daily chart, so you have to look at your shorter term or longer term. The market is working its way off of overbought towards oversold. Silver, yeah, that's not good, okay? I mean, if you're looking at it in context of gold, it's one thing, but this is just not good, okay? This is what we used to call a marble drop, right? I didn't even call it that. Someone else did. I used to just call it a slow death. Market rallies, market comes off, market bounces, market comes off. It's kind of like you drop a marble on a table, it hits, dead cat bounce, and then slowly rolls off. Now, slowly rolls off is fine at these levels. It's the precipitous sell-off that I don't want to see. But if I do see, I want to see it hold in these areas here for my own purposes.
How will the ongoing accumulation of gold by Asian economies, coupled with the increasing industrial demand for silver, particularly from the green energy sector, reshape the global financial landscape and influence the valuation and availability of these metals? Share your perspective in the comment section. If the video resonates with you, join our community by subscribing to our channel and enabling notifications with the bell icon. Thank you for being a part of our community.